Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and this is another interesting episode with Dr. Benjamin Eromosele, who finished from medical school a little over a year ago. We are very excited to speak to him, but before that, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. You're welcome, Dr. Benjamin. How are you doing today?
I'm all good. How about you?
I'm fine. How was work? Or today's Sunday and then we break?
Well, no, I was on call yesterday, so I handed over by this morning by 8. So
Or are you going back to hospital?
maybe in the evening, it's likely somewhere for my round tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's get into it. Can you tell us about you?
Okay, so I'm Benjamin, right? So I was born and raised in South Nigeria, and afterwards I came here to University of Ibadan, and I've been stuck here since 2014, and I've had a good time really. I love medicine, and it's something that I had a passion for a
Wow.
couple years before getting to med school. And yeah, I love swimming, I love cycling, and I'm developing an interest in photography of recent.
Wow.
So yeah, that's just a bit about me.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'm one of the people that really love medicine. Okay, so at what point did you know you are going to study medicine and be a medical doctor and all of that?
Well, I think I started SS1 because at the time, when getting to SS1 from junior school, you have the option to either go into the arts, sciences, or social sciences. So at that time, first term of SS1 in my school, we were given the option to do everything, right? So I think after I did biology and chemistry especially, I figured I was for the sciences. And then my teachers then liked me, and kind of it just made me like the course. Even if you know that kind of thing, even if you are not naturally inclined to it, but because the teachers give you some attention,
Exactly.
you kind of like it. So, but really, I think I liked it. But even though I like history too and geography, but I think I knew I was for the sciences. So pretty much. And then, so I thought it's going to be engineering or medicine. So going down the line, I was doing further maths to the end of SS1. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm in for this game.
Been there.
I'm just okay with physics, chemistry, biology, and also I figured, okay, medicine. And then I had a couple other people who I knew who were doctors in the healthcare field for my family and close family friends. So I knew I liked what they were doing, and they gave me some exposure into what they were doing. So I knew this was something to do.
Wow, that's good. All right. Tell us how a day in your life is from morning when you wake up to evening and all that.
Okay, well, I tend to wake up early, so I sleep. I typically sleep early. If I'm not on call, I sleep very early, say 8, 9.
Wow.
Yes, and I wake up early. So when I wake up on a usual day, I try to meditate or take my prayers early on. Then exercise, but even this necessarily house job that I'm suffering now. But I think I still make up for those calories because climbing the stairs in this hospital and all. So
No.
I'm kind of made up for those. So I think I am. Then I think I have been rather. Then I try to read something, even if it's just the news, a journal, my books, like anything medical, even non-medical things too. Then maybe a podcast if I'm in the mood for that as well. Then I have my breakfast, go for rounds. I'm thinking about now starting house job, right?
Sure.
So do my house of task work round, prepare for the next activity. And we'll do the activity for the day, come back in the evening, I'm tired. So I'll have dinner, then maybe sleep, then wake up again.
So social life.
Okay, so social life, well, I like partying.
Oh.
I enjoy partying. So either one day or going to the club or just having dinner with friends or something. Yes, I enjoy those a lot. And discussing with people. So I like to speak with people. I like to gist a lot. It's one of my major things. So yeah, just with my friends especially. My friends, I don't know from strangers of recent, I've become more open to people who I'm not so close to, which I think I'm happy I'm doing. So just discussing, chatting, and having fun with it.
That's really good. So how was medical school for you? Or the experience? Everything. The 7 years or 6 years you spent?
Well, med school, I would say it became what I tried to make of it what I wanted it to become. Now, saying that, having said that, really, I had some expectations in mind that, okay, going to med school that I really want for myself.
Mhm.
I knew I just didn't want to become the typical, okay, I went to school, I read all my books and stuff.
Exactly.
You understand? So I tried to do other things.
Mhm.
So I tried to have like exposure in sports, swimming. I tried, even though I'm not a master yet, I'm still learning. Swimming, cycling, photography was recent, was of recent. And then just doing like random things that were not traditionally medicine, like research, for instance, presenting at conferences, trying to travel for other stuff. So that pretty much formed a good amount of my experience outside med school, outside what we usually do, right? So like visual lectures, going for rounds at all. And then the highlight of my med school was actually my friends. So I had this really closely knit circle where we actually did everything not like together per se, but we were always together. We're like a group, you understand? So we went partying together, we studied maybe not studying all the time together, but we always kept ourselves along. And sharing our problems. We could just go, oh guys, let's go meet at this place this evening, and we'll just come and discuss all our problems and put on the table. And the next minute we're all laughing back home. And then having each other's backs. There was never a time when anyone had an issue and was scared to bring it up amongst us. And then we're just helping ourselves at every point or the other. And so it's really cool because today we're still very good friends.
So your support system was very important.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
So is there any experience you can't forget from medical school? Maybe like a word round or maybe lashing from a senior colleague or something?
Well, one I'll never forget. I think that was Christmas New Year break of 2017. So at this time I bought my flights. I booked my flight to go home for Christmas and stuff. So on this morning, I think on the 22nd or so, we didn't come for the registrar's word round.
Wow.
So the consultant came that morning. I'm like, oh, did these students come for rounds? So the registrar just covered us and said, no, we didn't come. We're like, oh, so you were like, we're not going anywhere for Christmas and New Year. We're going to be around throughout.
Oh my God.
So literally, I started crying in the sports because I think that was the only time I cried that was about the only time I cried in med school. Because I was pained because my mind wasn't in Ibadan again. I was already out of IB.
I imagine.
So the guy said, then when I came to beg him afterwards, so they knew we're three. So the other people knew I was supposed to be travel for Christmas, right? So we agreed that okay, I will be on call on the 23rd. Then the next person 24th, and that's the 25th, right? So we had agreed on that, and then the consultant said no. That I will be on call on Christmas Day.
Oh my God!
I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, sir, this can't happen. You understand? This can't happen. So it was like we should leave his office afterwards, and I just thought, I'm like, so nobody will kill my joy. If you know me, I may seem passionate about something, but there's sometimes I just send, and then I just do what I want to do. I left and I looked for what I did. I looked at the house officer on call that when I was a student. I'm like, see, this control asks you whether the letting now on ground because my mind isn't here. Like I just see my body physically. I'm already at home. So
that can be
so and it pained me. But afterwards, New Year came, signed off, and nothing happened. But I was broken because I felt I was spending Christmas on the ward.
Well, that's an interesting experience. So, how is the transition like from medical school to being a medical doctor? How was it?
For me, I'll kind of say it was abrupt because they are two different ball games in all honesty. So coming into becoming a house officer, working as a doctor, when you see yourself having more responsibility, you can't just say, I'm coming late for this, I'm not coming for this. You're doing the patient's life. And so just that sense of responsibility and then the kind of things you do. So as a student, you may not really understand that, okay, like the range of, you know that, okay, we'll do rounds at this time, but what goes into doing that round? So preparing for the rounds, activities and all, and then writing your patient orders, okay, pharmacy copy, inpatient pharmacy, outpatient pharmacy, okay, filling forms here, we're used to all of those things, but relating with nurses too. I just try to, sometimes people get on your nerves and all, but just trying to be patient and knowing that in all the patient's good, right? So just trying to be patient with some people because some people have to get on your nerves. So just understand that some of those intricacies here and there, and then relating with patients too. As a student, you think it's just husky and then just doing a long case, but you understand. But you see some really difficult patients who will actually try to frustrate you. But we still respect them, right? We are working here because of them, so just trying to show some empathy. And the truth is, most of them behave that way because of what they are going through, not necessarily because they want to seem mean or anything. So just understanding that, and just trying to make yourself happy. because most times things won't frustrate you, but just staying happy and just putting a smile on your face and saying the same.
So you see, you're in charge now.
Well, not really. I'm just trying to be happy, truthfully,
Okay.
because sometimes I get
Yeah.
things may try to work me up,
Of
but
course.
yeah. And then just that it may be it may be a bit abrupt, but with time, within 2 3 months, 3 4 months, 3 months really, you should have gotten a good grasp of it.
That's good. So how is time management like? I mean, are you more control of your time? Is it easier to manage your time and everything?
Well, now right from time, I've always been the alarm guy. So I mean, some of my friends remind me about that, or they spoke me on that, saying, okay, like I have an alarm for 3:05 or 3:07. I mean, yes,
Yeah,
and
one
that
of those people.
yes, I actually do. So I try to schedule things as it become me. I create my to-do list regularly, so things I want to do for the day and stuff like that. So pretty much having been that kind of person, now as a house officer, I mean, I don't think it's so much of an issue really, because I mean, I have a rough idea of what I want to do for the day. So
That's interesting. So after medical school, what are the common pathways people take as doctors, and which one are you considering?
okay, so now there are different options, and then I'm going to mention this, knowing that the med students will be listening to this and all,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you really want from yourself, for yourself, and understanding who you are. Now, okay, there's some people who are in your colleagues who are in. Okay, let me go. You said common first. Let me answer the questions first of all. The common thing is usually people going to mainstream medicine, right? So they go do their house job, NYSC. Afterwards, maybe become a medical officer or pursue residency training.
Yeah.
That's the medical part. There's some people who go into pure academics, like okay, like basic academics. I want to teach and do my research. So those ones just go straight. They don't do clinical medicine because there are folks who really going through med school, they felt they could tell that this whole clinical work isn't for me. I would rather just be somewhere lecturing to people, doing my research. And then it's also pretty interesting because that's like the wave of the future, really. For people who don't like discovering things, because they're like basic medical science transitional research now, where you just have like a laboratory and there are cells around you and stuff, and you're discovering new things that will actually guide clinical medicine. So you're actually like a dictator, I don't say dictator, but you play a very important role even in clinical medicine. So it may seem like you've left clinical medicine, but you play a very vital role, exactly. And then there are folks who do stuff outside medicine, like totally out of medicine. So doing it, which really, if you really want money, you understand? You understand? Because really, when our lecturers tell us that there's no money in medicine, as a doctor, you'll be comfortable, no doubt about that. But wait to be thinking rich, it's not possible. It's literally impossible. So there are folks who do other things, you understand? Medical supplies, who even go outside medicine entirely, having hotels, going to like banking. I know a doctor now who is working in the US. He did an MBA and he's working in Bank of America right now. And I was like, okay, the whole medicine wasn't for me. So I mean, so there are some newer things that are out there, like people who do things in IT, like artificial intelligence, for instance. So there are things like biomedical engineering, whereby okay, with your medical knowledge, you combine it to what you're doing now. So going into engineering research and just looking for things like processes, for instance. You understand? There's some newer ones now where you need your mind to control remote and stuff. So having that knowledge, background medical knowledge, and then combining with this, and then initially I said knowing what you want and who you are. So if for instance you're the kind of person who is like a tech geek or someone who has interest in all of those things before, it would be a good way to combine those things and making sure you are doing what you're really happy with. It's not just following the crowd, knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and tailoring the future. Yes. Yeah, and then for me, I think pretty much I'm tilted towards academic medicine. I love research actually. Yes, I love research, playing with figures and all of those things. Analysis especially, I enjoy analysis. And then clinical medicine, I think I really like clinical medicine. So I'm most likely to go to academic medicine.
Most likely. Wow, that's very interesting. So do you have any specialty in mind that you would go for if you do clinical medicine? you can do like top 3 or something.
Okay, so my first in line is actually internal medicine. Second is family medicine.
Wow.
And third is those two. I don't have a third option in mind. I know it's weird. I mean, considering I'm in Nigeria, I know people. I mean, yes. Now, initially, I thought I would become a surgeon, going into med school, crossing into clinical school and all. But I mean, when I went through did surgery here and also some like something like electives and all, I knew that wasn't just for me. Like if you know for who I am, I love my time. I don't just want something to do. I mean, in as much as I like clinical medicine and stuff, I want a situation where I can have my interest in other things, go do my sports, have time for my family, for my kids, or my spouse and stuff. So I just knew that, okay, this life wasn't for me, because then you see yourself waking up by 5 a.m., you rush to the ward by 6 o'clock for a round until like 9 p.m. Wow. If you're not on call, you're out, you're on call to the next day. So I knew that's not my life. You understand? Wow. So yet again, knowing who you are and what you want, right? So I chose internal medicine. People like, oh, Benjamin, why should you do internal medicine? This and that. I'm like, see, folks, I think I'm happy being here because my kind of person, I like knowledge, really. Like, just this, internal medicine do that. They say they know stuff a lot. So yes. So I like discussing knowledge and teaching people, really. Wow. And internal medicine kind of suits that personality, that part of me. And really, if you really know what internal medicine is, internal medicine isn't perfect, that's the truth. If you really know what internal medicine is about, that's medicine. Like, if you really practice internal medicine, that's actually what medicine is about. And in a place where things work, you actually enjoy internal medicine because you're ordering a lab here, you're asking for this investigation, you're seeing things working. It will guide your next management plan. Okay, give the patient this. Oh, this is not working, do some intervention. And you see patients going home. I shared an experience. I had a friend who did an elective in neurology at the University of Chicago like 2 years ago, and she shared an experience telling me that then you see stroke patients come into the hospital and they actually leave without any deficits. Most stroke patients say, no, that's not the case. You understand? So it just shows where things work, you actually tend to appreciate it. So I'm here to advocate to anyone who has an interest in internal medicine. It's not what people have told you. You understand? Internal medicine is fun, so you are welcome to join. You mustn't become a surgeon.
Interesting. So I'm personally interested in surgery. So
for real. So please try and come. Internal medicine is fun. It's actually fun.
All right. That's very good. I wish you well at that.
Thank you.
So have you taken any steps so far in your future?
Well, yes. I mean, at present, I'm looking for a master's degree. You understand? Because I really want to like a master's in public health, because that in the long run will guide my it's what I really want to do. Like in the long run, see myself going to like public health interventions and stuff. Yes, and then also preparing for some international exams here and there too. Because really, for what I want for myself, I don't think. You understand? Not because I really want to leave the country per se. The truth is, for the state Nigeria is in, we need a collaborative effort in solving this country's problems. So that people from the diaspora have a really major contribution to play, and no folks here too. So I just want to be in a situation, because this is home, no matter what one will say, right? So I want to be in a situation whereby I can help Nigeria, and with my experience outside, I'll prepare me for that role or that responsibility.
I feel the same way actually. That's very commendable. So to other parts of your life, what do you do for your hobbies, free time?
Okay, so
I think you mentioned some before.
Yes, I did. So swimming, I hope I become a pro this year. I hope so. Now
fingers crossed.
I hope I become a pro this year. Then cycling, so I enjoy cycling. Yeah, just go around and stuff. Then running, like I enjoy athletics, but just for like basic jogging and stuff like that. Then watching movies. And then the first, in fact, that priority, hanging out with my friends. I just want to go out with my friends, we have dinner, just have a convo, just drink, listen to music, party and all. Yeah, so that's something I really love doing. Just having conversations and tete-a-tete. And then people opening up to me gives me like a sense of fulfillment, because people trusting me to let them know their problems and having to help them out as well. Just because of the so just conversing with people, that's really major for me. Yeah. And this other sporting and traveling. Yeah, I love traveling, so going to places, learning about new cultures. What that does for me is like helps me to become open-minded, because the way we grew up here in Nigeria, speaking generally, we grew up in a very religious and culturally close-minded setting, where if you really follow those patterns, I don't mean to be negative or downgrade anything, but just those traveling and learning about people kind of makes me open-minded, you understand, such that things that you have held in your mind that okay, it's going to be this way, this way things should be done. You say, okay, some dynamism, it could be done this way, it could be done. So that way you tend to relate more with people. The interpersonal skills become so good, and then the relational skills too.
Relationships are a very big part of our life. So let's talk about like romantic relationships. Okay. So how was that like for you, medical school, and now? I mean, how is the whole dynamic and everything?
Okay, so truth is, It's something you have to be intentional about.
Was-
Now, maybe I may not be the best person to ask this thing, but I mean, in med school, I was in 2 relationships. I'm a pretty discreet person. I mean, yeah. So
I
I
know
was in
that.
two relationships, and they were not in med school
Ooh.
because I just didn't like. If you, my kind of person, I don't like distraction and noise at all. So imagine dating someone in med school, for instance, and the whole world knows that okay, then he's dating that babe there. You get, so I didn't like that
You didn't want
attention.
that.
I rather just want someone
Wow.
outside that would just meet at home
Exactly.
and stuff like that.
That
So
makes sense.
that was just my person, right? So I mean, I had friends who dated as med students, and they're
Sure.
really good for them. So one married, one some others are getting married soon. So I mean, it's a very open option. But for me, considering my person, just something
You
I didn't
want
like,
them.
So yes, and then there are people who I had interest in med school. I got some L's.
Oh wow.
So
You?
well, yes,
How
I did. I got some L's, and there are people who we thought something would come up with, but coming closer, we're like, okay, I think we'll just be safe as friends. Yeah.
True.
So that kind of thing. So, but I mean, it's something really beautiful. Just having to find someone to, because I mean, in medicine generally, things will frustrate you.
Oh,
You become
yes.
tired, and you just need like a soulmate
True.
to open up to just put all your problems on. Not put all your problems on, but someone
Some of
to,
your
to rant some.
Yeah.
And someone to rant to, and then the person gives you a listening ear and
Wow.
helps you out. It's really important. If
Yeah.
not, one can run mad.
I understand. So
Yeah.
now, are you like?
So at the moment, I'm in a situationship.
Ooh,
You understand?
interesting.
Situationship. And we're all still open. So I mean, if you
Yeah.
like me, you can come and meet me. Meet me.
Oh wow.
I'm open.
All right, that's good. So to our last part of this, what advice do you have to medical students that are unsure
Mhm.
of what to do immediately after medical school and don't know what really to take?
Well, keep your mind open and understanding that you mustn't follow a particular pathway based on what others have done. So yet again, knowing who you are and what you want for yourself. So for instance, you're a person who always had interest in tech, you're a person who always had interest in like figures. I mean, having interest in tech, going to biomedical engineering, for instance, or going to AI and stuff. If you're a person who always likes figures and stuff, research is for you because there's some like research analysis, for instance, basic medical science. There are lots of things to do with figures, most of clinical research as well. So if you know you're that kind of further maths person who came into med school, research is actually open to you. So people see it as complex, but really when you get into it, it's actually very interesting. So, and then if you're the type who actually like analysis and like having to discover things and all, research is also for you because even after the folks who have done like the data parts, you then begin to analyze. So if you're the type who actually loves to read into things and bring out like extrapolate data, research is happening for you. Going to advance segment of research and make a good fortune, like a good career for yourself. And just being open-minded and living in the moment, you understand? Such that don't just keep your mind fixed on something, just keep living in life and somehow things will fix themselves. We all have different, 2020 has taught us that, I guess.
Oh god.
You understand?
Yes.
So just living in the moment, enjoying the moment, and just trusting that things will fall in line. Just try to just be doing the right thing as much as possible. Your school, because this school, this place, and then another thing I want to mention, make an attempt to become a safe doctor. Now, that being said, you know, there's some folks you see in your class, for instance, in my class, they want to assist in this surgery, in their craniotomy, and all. But this is not time for that. Just focus on becoming a safe doctor. And during house job, during residence training, you pick one of those skills. So create time to develop interest outside medicine as much as you can in medicine. Because when you start a resident house job, if as a medical officer, as a resident, you won't have time for those things. It's the things you develop, like other stuff outside medicine that you worked on outside med school that will keep working for you. So as much as possible, just work to become a safe doctor and then have interest outside medicine. It will keep you sane and will create a circle for you outside the medicine that you need. Because I noticed that most people in medicine, we tend to have our friends just around medicine alone.
Exactly.
We don't have friends as lawyers, we don't have friends, and the world is beyond what you just see in the world here. So just being intentional about that and knowing who you are and what you want for yourself, that can direct you rather into what you want.
Yeah.
And just being happy and being in the moment, really.
Wow, that sums it all up. Thank you very much.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here with us, and I'm sure our viewers learned so much and had so much fun.
Same here, I had fun.
Yeah, I had fun. All right, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you so much for keeping up with our video, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.